That's our signal. You ready, Princess? All right. After you, then.
There you are. Go on, quickly. We don't have long.
That's what you are wearing. To not be recognized.
What part of we don't have long do you not understand? Move!
Alright, really though, what's with the finery?
As a knight of the royal court, I really thought you'd understand the concept of time and place, and not being insufferable.
I'm just wondering why you instructed us to dress simply when you were planning to come dressed as if you're being whisked off to a soiree.
If you must know, I am dressed like this because I am the only one of us with a profession that is not tied to being unmistakably royal. Recall that I am a doctor. Oh well, good as one. I've done the training, just was never permitted by my dear father to put it into practice. I am your alibi. If anything, me being well dressed just means I look as if I am good at my craft. That is all.
Do doctors go around with ruffles on their collar and rings adorning nearly every finger?
The prideful ones, sure, and the rings serve a purpose. I don't know if you're aware, but rival nations that do not engage in trade have little use for each other's currencies. Not to mention, it would be a dead giveaway of our origins if you were to toss around coin in a land that does not deal in it. These are emergency funds, provided we can find a jeweler.
All right. You are very smart and wise, and you've thought this out very well. I'll lay off, Lord Florence.
Somehow, any compliment from you still sounds like an insult.
What's that, Princess? Oh, she makes a point. I shouldn't call you by your title, should I? In fact, none of us should be called by our titles. Even more so, none of us should be going by our names, should we?
Well, you and I will be fine. Our names are reasonable enough for the Lavenian masses not to get suspicious, but the princess is another issue. The name of the royals is somewhat unavoidable, even in Laveni, and no self-respecting Lavenian would name their child after the crown princess of the nation they dislike. We'll need to find something else.
Ah, well, simple enough. I'll just call her my love.
Well, I suppose.
What, my love? No good? What about dearest? Sweetness? Darling? Oh dear, they won't recognize the princess just by how red she's gotten. That'll work out then.
I will call her Gretchen, then.
I beg your pardon, what now?
Margaret seems a fine name. Gretchen is the commonly used diminutive. If we are to pass as commoners, or a mercantile group of sorts, we'll need to play the part. I'll treat her casually, and we will claim she is my cousin. That should dispel any doubt on our so-called familial ties.
Did you have to pick that name?
What's wrong with it? Your reaction proves it's effective. Wouldn't expect it.
Fine. Well then, if she's your cousin, what am I?
If you're intent on showing your affections openly, you'll have to be her lover. Perhaps an assistant of mine? An apprentice?
Your apprentice? Even though I'm older than you?
I barely see how that applies.
Fine. If that's the most airtight explanation, I suppose I will just have to make peace with it.
You will have to call me Master Damien.
Absolutely not.
But, sir.
You get sir, and nothing more.
Unconventional, but it will have to do.
Good. Now that we have that all squared away, what's next?
Make yourselves comfortable and stay quiet. We have a long road ahead of us.
Well, he's fully asleep, isn't he? Impressive, honestly. With uneven roads like this, it's nothing short of a miracle he's still upright. You think he sleeps on every wagon ride? He seems like the type. Say, my love. What? I must practice if I want to get it right whilst we're in foreign territory, mustn't I? Precisely. So, my love, have you at all thought about what we will do if this goes well? How do I mean it? Let's see. How best to put this? Well, in the best outcome of this entire venture, we are granted the freedom to be who we are and be with each other openly, yes? If all goes in accordance with our wishes, I will be able to court you properly. Your father will let us be, and perhaps we will even be allowed a union. So, should this idealized future truly come to be, then what will you do? What do you truly want after this? Had you been given the freedom you had deserved from the start? Me? Well, I must say I haven't really given it much thought. Not because of anything to do with you or our relationship, mind you. Nothing like that. It's just... Well, I've never really considered the whole idea of settling down before you. Ever since I decided to live truthfully and pursue my interests openly, I figured it would only be a matter of time until some scorned nobleman put me in an early grave for sullying some lady in his family. I must admit, when we first shared a kiss in the courtyard, I'd practically made peace with the idea that you would very likely be my final foray into romance. Since no one has an affair with a princess and comes away unscathed, let alone a woman like me. I've always kept moving, trying to avoid ire and keep my dealings quick and secret. Never once have I considered a future with anyone. In some cases, not even a future at all. I've been playing the cards as they've been dealt, so to say. So, truly, what is it you want? Because that, in the end, will be what I want as well. Because I think all I really desire to get out of this is for you to be content. And, well, I'd be lying if I said there weren't some very specific liberties I wish I could take with you more often. Or how I'd jump at the chance to declare you mine to the world without my head being promptly parted from my body. But yes, your happiness. That is my goal. What is yours? How will I make you happy? Oh, sweetheart. If you think you're walking away from this without a ring on that finger, you've got another thing coming. But I'm glad we agree. That would be nice, were it feasible in future. As for what else you want, you can think about it. It might be nice, though, to find a future to strive for. I find having a clear destination makes the travel steadier, and your footsteps more determined. And we might come to rely on that fire of yours, after all. Darling, come here. It will be a while still until we reach the borders. Get some rest. I'll watch over. Best to be wide awake when we need to start pleading with the enemy, yes? Very well, my sweet. Sleep well.
I don't know. It's not time for us to rest yet. Maybe there's something wrong with the wheels? Damien, if this coachman of yours ends up a traitor, I swear to everything you hold dear. No, we can trust him, I'm certain. Maybe a tree fell on the road. I'll go see what... A traveling physician, sir. I had business at the border, and my dear sister and my apprentice were so kind as to...
And what business does a doctor have in the mountains? Healing goats.
Sir, I assure you this is all above board. Please, allow me to explain and...
You, in the shadows, come out here.
Did someone pass a law that every traveler had to be accosted on the road or something? What grounds are you even stopping us on? Nezetta, please, let me handle this.
I assure you, apprentice, I have every right to stop you.
See, I'm not so certain that you do. Nezetta! My sincere apologies, sir. We are anxious to get home, as my sister has come down with a bout of travel sickness. The mountain roads do simply not agree with...
Quiet. You. What did you say?
I said, I'm not so certain you have any kind of authority to keep us.
Right. I see. Call down your coachman. And there's another one.
My love.
Gretchen, what are you doing up? You should be recovering.
Right. Travel sickness, was it? Come here.
Hold on. What are you going to do?
None of your concern. You, wagon girl, come here.
Don't you dare lay a hand on her. Nezetta, please.
Really? Or you'll do what?
I'm not scared of your fancy uniform, and I'm not one to let knights have their little power trips without pushing back. You don't touch her.
Clearly. Hell of an apprentice you have there. Do they always carry swords?
She is passionate about her protection. She was a member of the Watch. I am so sorry.
Save it. You, in the back. Do you know what this is?
My love, you don't have to answer him, just... Oh, blast. What?
That's right. Seems like one of you actually thinks before they speak.
Sir, excuse our indolence, we...
Could you stop groveling, man? It's not going to help you.
What is going on?
As your young lady friend there has long figured out, and your little conman here just realized, this is a Lavenian orchid crest.
Okay, a purple flower. So?
Which means I am part of the Orchid Knights. A term you, as a supposed citizen of Laveni, should know absolutely gives me the authority to stop and search your wagon and person, especially since I followed you from the border.
Ah, well, that's...
Quiet. Here's what you are all going to do. You are going to drop your weapons, you are going to turn and face the wagon, and you are going to come with me.
Or what? If you think... What? But... My love... Fine. All right. All right.
Very smart of you. Now, You.
Me?
Face the wall.
Right. I'll just... Oh! Sir, this is quite unnecessary.
I am placing you under arrest by the authority of the Orchid Knights, under the grace and supervision of the Queen and the State of Laveni, for violating the border treaty, impersonation, deception, and espionage. You will face trial before the Queen, or in the case of her absence, the heir apparent.
I quite understand, but you don't have to push quite that hard.
I assure you I do. And get used to it. We're in for a long trip.
Yes, sir. Well,